handicapped and mentally ill are not getting the treatment they need. In the 1970s, when we shut down on the Supreme Court case, a lot of the mental institutions and care facilities, we left a lot of people on the streets who are unable mentally to take care of themselves. That becomes a law enforcement problem because obviously if they're living on the streets and they have nowhere to survive and they're mentally handicapped, they tend to commit crimes, and jail's not the place for these people. Right now, in order to keep somebody incarcerated who is mentally ill, we have to prove that they are a danger to themselves and or society. That's a very high standard, and that leaves a big gap for a lot of really good people who are hurting and need help and could live normal, productive lives if they were properly medicated and diagnosed in the lurch. So Senator Mary Kay Papen is bringing a proposed law that would kind of cover that gap. Not completely. I'd like to see more done, but under a lot of constraints. So we're hoping to pass a law that will allow law enforcement officers and medical professionals to help people who have mental handicaps and mental illness to live a more productive life and get them off the streets so they can get help.
As far as this meeting, will people be able to offer insight or comment?
Yes.
Or is it, okay.
This is a forum. I want it to be, I met with the staff today who's going to put it on. I strictly said that I want this to be a give and take, so not only to inform the public of what we want to do and why it's important, but them to comment back and give us their, if they think it's a good idea or a bad idea. What questions do they have? Maybe they have mentally handicapped or mentally ill relatives that they need help, and this will be a good place for them to discuss their ideas and their problems.
The district attorney's office would seem kind of one step removed from the initial problem, but you feel it's important to be involved.
No, actually not. My title is Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Diana County, and this is a law enforcement problem. I mean, it's basically a problem of the individual who needs the help, but that gravitates towards these individuals being put in jail necessarily, committing crimes that could be prevented. So part of a proactive approach is to try to nip the problem, societal problem, in the bud before it becomes a criminal problem.
Okay, that's perfect for me.